Week 2 of the Green Bay Packers OTA practices are officially in the books. And with that being said, we have more news, notes, highlights, observations from another week here at practice. Now, usually I like to take the approach of going day by day throughout the week and breaking down each practice, right? But since the week is over and they're loading up to start week 3 and then also gearing up for mandatory minicamp, I wanted to break down the week in review just so you Packers fans out there who, maybe missed, one or two of the practices can still be kept up to date with everything that's going on here in Green Bay. So in the video, we're going to break down everything you need to know, the players who are standing out so far in practice. I do want you guys to take with a grain of salt because no pads and no contact really right now. But at the same time, there's been some really good first impressions for some of these younger guys. Now, before we jump into the video, I do want to give a big shout out to the Green Bay Packers media team, man. They do such a good job, getting these highlights from practice, like recording them and putting them out. So make sure you guys go follow them on Twitter, man. You'll see the names at the top left of your screen. Go do them a favor, follow, and even yourself a favor because they will be keeping you guys up to date with live coverage of practice and news and notes as well. So go give them a follow, man. Big shout to them who enable us to use these highlights and kind of commentate over it and put in some news and notes from practice. So big shout to them. These videos probably would not be possible without them. So go follow them on Twitter right now. And with that being said, let's kind of jump into this week of practice. And more importantly, the guys who've been looking really good so far. Now, the first guy I want to bring up is someone who is just, underrated in my opinion anyway. A guy who kind of broke out last season for them and is looking really good again this offseason. Wide receiver, Bo Melton. Obviously, there are so many guys here, right? Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, Dontavion Wicks, and obviously those guys are really good. But at the end of the day, we cannot fail to mention Bo Melton. He stepped up last year, 16 catches for 218 yards. And a touchdown in the final 4 games. Yeah, just in the final 4 games went absolutely insane. He only had played 2 offensive snaps before week 15 and then absolutely stepped up. And now he looks like one of the go-to targets for Jordan Love, at least so far in camp. He's already made a very strong impression to this offseason, and you can tell the work he has put in. This dude wants to be a ball player. He doesn't care about the money or the fame. This guy really, thrives himself on getting better and, making the most out of every single opportunity. And that is something that he has done so far this offseason. And we just want to continue to see him do things like this, man. I want to give a big shout out to Bo Melton. I know he hasn't had the most opportunities in his career, especially in Seattle, but now it could be the time for him to really get it going. And he's, again, someone who just looked really good during camp. Now, someone who's been throwing him the football a little bit, Michael Pratt. Michael Pratt's a guy who they actually really do like. Obviously, he's not going to be competing for the starting job by any means, but he is going to be competing for that number 2 job behind Jordan Love. Obviously, last season, they bring in a guy like Sean Clifford in the 5th round. Now you draft Michael Pratt in the 7th round. They're really hoping that one of these two guys can, really take that step up. And to be honest, I think Michael Pratt has maybe even taking the keys for a second of that number 2 job. It just looks like this man has been really good. And Sean Clifford, I wouldn't say he's looked bad. I'm just saying Michael Pratt's looking really good. And again, let's not take it with an overreaction because there's no pads and no contact, right? But in terms of team drills, this dude is marching down the field and literally dropping dimes and darts all over the field. The dude has a cannon for an arm. So I'm really excited to see what he can continue to do. I think there was one possession, he had a 2-minute drill, ended with a dime to Grant Dubois in the end zone on 4th and 10 from the 17. But you know what? Grant did drop it, but it was a dime. It was a really good throw. Dude, it was on the money. Would have been a tough catch, but dude, it was perfectly placed. Such a good ball. So he's another guy that I'm going to continue to, monitor going forward. Before we get any further into the video, by the way, do me a big favor and hit the like button, but more importantly, subscribe if you're new. It's free. It doesn't cost anything, guys. And we also will be covering the entirety of the offseason. Now, you may ask, what does that include? Okay, OTAs, not only the rest of OTAs, but mandatory minicamp in a couple of weeks. We got training camp, we got preseason, we got regular season, and get this, we're going to be breaking down film from game, all 22 film, throughout the preseason and the regular season as well. Guys, do yourself a favor, lock in, join the family. Again, it doesn't cost you anything. But with that being said, let's jump back to the video. Now, another guy who's been surprising, maybe to me, I don't know about you guys, but a running back. Now, I'm not going to say who it is right away. I want you guys to maybe guess in the comments, but bringing in Josh Jacobs, you could kind of tell this team was locked and loaded, and bringing in a guy who could do multiple different things at a high level. Right now, Josh Jacobs isn't coming off the best year. I mean, you got to give him a lot of credit, man. He's been through like 4 different coaches in 4 different years. I mean, it's been insane over there in Vegas. And, you know, Josh Jacobs has always been relatively productive. The thing I love about Josh Jacobs is the unpredictability. Now, what I mean by that is last season at times when A.J. Dillon was in the game, you would know they're running the ball, right? Because he's not much of a pass catcher. And, you know, Aaron Jones, he can kind of do both, but when he was in the game, they're probably going to be looking to pass the ball, right? Josh Jacobs can not only pound the ball, but he's also a very reliable pass catcher as well. So it's not like the defense is like, okay, A.J. Dillon's in the game, they're going to run the football. Okay, Aaron Jones in the game, it's probably going to be a pass. Now they have a sense of unpredictability where it could be both. And don't get me wrong, Aaron Jones could do both. But I just think Josh Jacobs is a little bit better at this point in time because of the age gap. I do really believe that Josh Jacobs is going to be massive here. But with that being said, I don't know why I went on a tangent. The guy who's been standing out is not Josh Jacobs, even though he's, you know, again, he's not standing out. He's coming back from injury, easing into the things. But while he's returning from his injury, there's been some open reps. And the guy who's been taking the advantage of it is A.J. Dillon. It is A.J. Dillon. So, big shout to A.J. Dillon. You know, this summer I feel like he could have went somewhere else, signed for more money, but said, you know what, I want to stay in Green Bay. I see the upside of this team, and I want to be here for the success. And, you know, that's a big shout out because a lot of guys in the NFL will be like, oh, this team is offering me more money, I'm going there. I don't care about my playing time. I don't care about team success. I just want the money. I want the fame. I want people to know I'm getting that bag. A.J. Dillon didn't say that. He said, hey, this team can win football games, and I know I can help. I think A.J. Dillon is a guy who most likely won't be a big time contributor. He will contribute, don't get me wrong, but he's not going to be someone who gets a ton of carries every single week. But some weeks he will, some weeks he won't, and he gives you the versatility of having someone as a really good spot starter if Jacobs does have to miss a game. I love A.J. Dillon, and the fact that he's kind of, you know, standing out this offseason so far, and again, it's the running back position. He just looks quicker, more elusive, and just looks like he's ready to go, man. So I definitely love that. Ready for the Pats to come on to see if he's, you know, really going to be good. But so far, a great start for A.J. Dillon. I feel like it's going to be a big offseason for him, and you know, see how he fits into the team. Now, lastly, the other guys I really want to give a big shout out to is from the defense, man. I want to give a ton of credit right now to the secondary, man. Eric Stokes looks better than he has ever showed before. A former first-round pick. The dude looks like an absolute dog, right? You bring Xavier McKinney, you draft Javon Bullard, and then Jair Alexander might be his best season. This might be his best season. I mean, this dude is locked in, more locked in than ever. He kind of saw that success from last season from this team and is already like, listen, if I can help this team be better, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make sure I put in that work. So when it comes to, you know, winning games, I'm going to be there at the end. I'm going to be someone who's, you know, going to be relied upon to make these big plays. And I think they're super excited about the progress that he has made, even as a veteran on the team. He is continuing to lead by example and, you know, lead by voice as well. So big shout out to them. The rookies are looking good. Javon Bullard, Katan Oladapo, and Evan Williams, right? All trying to battle it out, see who can be that number 1, number 2 guy for the safety room. Edgerrin Cooper, quick, elusive, you know, has been looking good, but again, need to see the pads come on, need to see how he does and reacts with actual play calls with defense that can make contact, right? So just excited to see things, go further. Let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I will catch you guys in the next Packers video. Peace.